Welcome. It is the Ski Bum Podcast, episode number 320, and it is your pals, Mario and Brian. Mario, what's up?
What's up is we're getting ready to go to Snowbound. It's happening.
Snowbound is going down in less than 2 weeks. Besides that, in my area, we got the new Warren Miller Alltime film that is showing that I am going to be checking out. So we're going to do a little preview, since this year it's going to be a little different. It's not going to be the huge, which could be good, could be bad. I'm sure some of you have already checked it out. If not, we'll give you a little preview. I'm excited. Because why wouldn't you be excited for a Warren Miller movie?
Exactly.
They're just awesome. They're perhaps different.
They get everything started for the season.
They kick off the season, so that's worth getting excited about. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Check us out, skibumpodcast.com. We're on the socials, X, Instagram, Facebook, Untapped, YouTube. We are at Ski Bum Podcast. Send us an email, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. Do you love the show? Do you want to contribute? Maybe be part of it? This is possible, my friends. Patreon.com/skibumpodcast. We have 3 tiers. You can join one of those tiers. With those different tiers, you can access and unlock different experiences with the podcast. So we would love it if you did that. Please check it out. Patreon.com/skibumpodcast. You know what you need? You need to get yourself in shape for ski season.
Boom.
Talk about it all the time. You're not going to ski yourself into shape. That's not a real thing. You know what you need? You need some cool shorts, some workout gear. 10,000. 10,000.cc. Athlete led. They test, they iterate, they repeat. Iron sharpens iron. The only way to become your best is to work with the best. Their motto is better than yesterday. And at the heart of 10,000 is the idea of pursuit in business, fitness, life, and skiing. They believe in moving forward with a quiet dedication to constant improvement and to becoming just a bit better than we were yesterday. Go to their site, 10,000.cc. Use the code BSchneider15, BSCHNEIDER15, 15% off. Like Mario mentioned, Snowbound Expo, returning November 3rd through 5th, 2023. In new location, the Boston Convention and Exhibition Center, the BCEC. We're going to be there on Thursday or Friday and Saturday. Well, half a Saturday. But it's going to be we're going to be there. If you want to hit us up, you know how to reach out to us. You can DM us on Instagram. Make plans already.
Yeah,
we're trying to figure out how we're going to do it Friday night. If we're going to find a location, do a meetup there. If you have ideas, suggestions, recommendations, please hit us up, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. Mario, let's kick this off the way we always do.
It's time for Après Today.
Well, I have a good old favorite, and I'm working through those bottles, extra bottles that I bought. I don't know if anybody remembers, but around it wasn't even Christmas. I forgot when it was, but like
Arbor Day.
I was like, Arbor Day. I was like, I need to stock up on some whiskey, and then my wife thought I asked her to go get whiskey, so we ended up with like 4 bottles of Basil Hayden's. So
wasn't that like an episode of Three's Company back in the day? It's like, hey, you got whiskey. Hey, I got whiskey. Let's just get hammered and see what happens.
Just get hammered. So you got a lot of whiskey.
Rest in peace, Suzanne Summers.
That's right. It's a good reference. Yeah. So Basil Hayden.
Basil Hayden.
If anybody hasn't had it, it's one of those I was thinking about. Like I hadn't had in a while. That's why I put it on the list. Like I got to get this.
And Basil Hayden, that's the regular one, right? Because now they've started doing a bunch of different iterations
now. And
the toast one's really good.
I haven't had that one. I'm just straight Basil Hayden drinking.
You're keeping it au naturel, the OG.
Yeah.
The one that got him to the dance.
And if anybody wants to get into bourbon, this was the first bourbon I was introduced to.
Look at that. When you were like 13 years old, right?
13 years old.
That guy at the bus station's like, hey, little boy, have some of this.
See, I'm drinking out of my Waterford crystal glass like a professional.
Class.
It's nice. And I even have the matching decanter that I will. We're drinking it too fast right now, so I don't even want to take the time to put it in the decanter, but we do have one
You
just in
like a
case.
Waterford straw for your decanter for easy consumption?
No. See, because my whole thing, I'm anti-straw. People are like, well, are you saving the environment? I'm like, no, I just think the debate between a paper and a plastic straw is stupid. Just drink out of the glass like a man.
There you go. Why
Right?
doesn't Waterford make crazy straws? Wouldn't that
That'd
be
be
awesome?
cool.
Right?
A Waterford crazy. We
Waterford
have
crazy
this
straw.
wonderful water. I would have bought it. I
Yeah.
was feeling in a mood that night. So this was like my wife and I's engagement gift to each other. So
Look at that.
it's nice,
Beautiful
right?
thing. Yeah.
And she'll drink out of it all the time. Like all the time.
All
Yeah.
the time.
How about you, man? What do you got?
All right. So I haven't been drinking too much beer lately. Kind of keeping it I don't know, in the liquor area. But I was jonesing for a beer this week. It's just been one of those weeks. And I picked up some really nice beers. I guess it was Labor Day weekend. After we were up in New Hampshire, we did that Bronco off rodeo. Came
That's
back,
right.
was able to. The kids were being watched there at my in-laws, and I had a couple extra minutes. And I was like, you know what we should do? We should stop at Treehouse on the way home, because why wouldn't you
nice.
stop at Treehouse? Because the beers are phenomenal. And you mentioned your Basil Hayden, and you're going with the OG version, the classic. What got them to the dance? I went the opposite route. I found the weirdest beer that Treehouse possibly could sell. Had it there at their Deerfield facility. So they've got at least, I think, 4 locations now.
Oh, they've expanded, huh?
Yeah, and this one, if you were driving up to Vermont from Connecticut or Mass, is right off 91. I mean, you can practically see it from the highway. It's so close, which is nice. So we were driving south from that direction. It's just a quick on and off, which is cool. They have a sound stage there, like a big stage, a huge lawn, and it looks like a 70s corporate building that they just converted into this awesome brewery. It has where the cafeteria was. They have, places to eat. They make really amazing pizza, which unfortunately they had a 45-minute wait, and we had to just kind of get in and out and didn't get one.
Wow.
But all they could talk about is how good their pizza is.
Huh.
Now, again, I don't know if it's good for Western Massachusetts or if it's actually really good.
Yeah.
But
everybody argues that theirs is the best, right?
Gonna have to go and check it out again. Like, people from Chicago say their pizza is the best. I can't even help you. Like, I can't even help you.
It's not pizza. It's not a pizza. It's a pizza pie. It's a different thing altogether.
It's like that lasagna what they have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, not only am I a sucker for Treehouse, I'm a sucker for guava. Because who's not, right? Yeah.
Guava.
Love some guava. So this is the double Nectaris guava, which is
nice.
It's
Dude, guava in a beer tastes awesome, doesn't it?
Right. So this is a double IPA because, that's how we do it around here. Double Nectarius Guava, American double IPA brewed with studious selection of fruit-forward American hops, heavy dose of guava puree, and a touch of milk sugar. So for all you lactose intolerance, this is not for you.
Sorry.
Vibrant orange color.
Nice.
What could you expect from Treehouse? Yeah. Everything they make is amazing. This one, again, it's almost like a big IPA with a guava milkshake, like a touch of guava milkshake in there. It's phenomenal. Yeah. I love it.
It's interesting with the little lactose. That's a nice little smooth finish.
It just smells so hoppy and like.
There's one I had down here. I think it might be Cigar City makes one with guava, or one of the other local brewers. It's an IPA. It's really good. But I'm thinking now that little touch of milk, touch of lactose might be the one that put them over the edge there.
It smooths it out. Makes it a little creamy, mellows it out.
Good mouthfeel.
It's an 8%er, like comes in hot, but
8%.
You're only having one, you could do a lot
do
worse.
That. You only have one 4-pack, you're good.
Yeah, it's just crazy how expensive beer has gotten. I think I got 2 4-packs. I got one of this and one other guava-ish thing that they made. And I think it was like $24 a 4-pack, maybe 20.
Yeah, 4-packs now are like what? $16, the same price as like a 12-pack.
It's like $24 for a 4-pack. But you know,
Yeah, I gotta go buy a case of, ghetto beer, and that's still like $15 now, $16.
so how bad do you want it? I wanted it, so I got it, and it's delicious, and I regret
Good.
nothing.
Yeah, I didn't really go pumpkin crazy with pumpkin beer this year.
I had one this
there's
week.
still time.
There's still time. They're all gone though. So, you have to have it sitting in your fridge by now because now they already got Christmas beers out and Christmas everything.
That's right.
We're practically counting down to St. Patrick's Day because, it's October. So we're getting ready for March. We've got a whole ski season though. So let's not start looking forward to March too soon.
Not yet.
So I think that's the perfect little transition.
Let's go to ski news.
Boom.
And is there big news for those who are Indy Pass fans, especially in the Conway, Jackson, New Hampshire area. We talked about it last week, which it's funny. I think the day I released the podcast was the day that they announced this. Last week, we talked about how Black Mountain is shutting it down since 1936. I believe they were opened. 35. They were shutting down. Too expensive. Couldn't find good help. That day, Indy Pass to the rescue. Black Mountain will be open this season. The Fischera family will operate the ski area for one more season after Indy Pass provides resources to operate this season and assistance in finding a buyer for the historic ski area.
That's pretty awesome.
Indy Pass parent company Intabeni Systems announces today that it has reached an agreement with Black Mountain in Jackson, New Hampshire to remain open for the 23-24 season. Fischera family, longtime owners of the resort, announced on October 11th that they could not operate due to circumstances beyond their control. The mountain, which has been in continuous operation since 1935, will be offered for sale as an operating ski area. Intabeni founder Eric Morgensen will lead an industry-wide effort to find a sustainable solution. We have a role to play in keeping skiing independent, and it is time to step up, said Morgensen. Wow. We are not interested in owning ski resorts, but are firmly committed to supporting independent operators like Black Mountain. The struggles that John and his family overcame for decades are the same struggles many ski areas across the country are facing every day. So they brought in Andy Shepard, whose career has been focused on turning around struggling ski areas and will join the effort at Indy Pass. Andy led the efforts that produced successful outcomes at Saddleback, Big Rock, Quokey Joe, and Black Mountain of Maine. The Fischeras have played a critical role in keeping one of the country's most historic ski areas running for the last 30 years. We should celebrate their accomplishments as we look for the next owner of Black Mountain. So this is cool. So they brought this guy in, and this Andy Shepard, he seems like almost like Mr. Wolf.
Oh, the fixer. He fixes it.
You need the fixer. You need the guy who comes in, little polish, get rid of a few bodies. This is your dude, Andy Shepard. But it's crazy that Indy Pass, like what the Indy Pass seems to be growing into. Yeah. I mean, think about it. They originally, it was just like, hey, let's just get these people together, get a couple days. Now they're at the point where they have the funding, the people, and the knowledge to almost prop up these mountains. I mean, that's a big deal. It's really impressive that they've come this far. And they mention here that John Fischera is one of the first owners to believe in Indy Pass, and they are privileged to help Black Mountain operate this season. That's from Indy Pass founder Doug Fish. And of course, he encourages all Indy Pass holders to visit this gem of a ski area. Nice. The fact they're able to do that, though, that they've come this far in just, 4 years since the Indy Pass has been out, to having that power, that capability to keep a resort open. And I wonder behind the scenes, I would love to just have heard those conversations about, it's like, hey, what do you need? What do you got to do to make this work? It's like any negotiation. Right. I'm sure.
What can we do to help?
What can we do to help? Like, how do we make this happen? It's a cool thing that they're able to do that, and to not have to just sell it to an Altera or a Vail, and to keep it independent, and to hopefully find a company that will keep it independent next year after they do make this move, because it's only for a year. Like they're just saying, like,
yeah, just you're extending the time.
We can keep
can't get
you
things working
on life support, and who are they going to bring in? So it'll be cool to see, because you have places, and I forget the name of the company that bought J Peak last year, but they were one of those places that they own like 4 or 5 little ski resorts. They want to keep the people who are part of it and who are running it, kind of keep it the same, almost as if nothing changed. And hopefully, they'll find someone in that same vein. But it's kind of getting a little tricky, because there is a certain pattern, a certain kind of formula that's working out in this duality of the Icon versus Epic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how the whole battle started and is shaping up now, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of Vail and Altera.
So here's an article, the $300 a day lift ticket that every skier hates. Top ski resorts want even the most infrequent snow bunnies to pay for their passes long before the first flakes fall. So it's part of a big push by resorts to nudge skiers into prepaying for passes for multiple days or full seasons. The dynamic has long existed at ski mountains, but prices are soaring for passes bought the day you ski. Single ticket at A-list resorts, Park City, Vail, and Beaver Creek, will set you back $299 on a peak day this season. And a $949 season pass offers unlimited access to those resorts and dozens of others all winter. They're saying, they go on to talk a lot more about, the major ski companies are introducing different ranges of passes, but they're saying all in all, it's discouraging casual visitors, families from making last minute trips. So that's what they're hearing is being said. And they used a perfect example of a guy from North Carolina that went to ski just for a few times skiing. He paid more than $350, but after purchasing an Epic Pass, which he got for $479, it's a much better proposition. So it's pretty interesting how, once this all came about, they started doing these big passes. Who was the first one that did that? Was it Mountain Collective?
Well, it's talking about Vail here, first introducing the Epic Pass in 2008. I don't know if Mountain Collective was before that or not.
I thought Mountain Collective is the one that we heard about way before, but and now they're expanding, like, the Icon and Epic, they're getting like international resorts on. Indy has done a great job getting all the Indy resorts, but it's just getting, more and more interesting as it really is discouraging you from last minute purchase of a ticket or window tickets.
Yeah, I need to remember. I think we had to purchase window tickets this past season when we were up at Greek Peak, but we were also that's an Indy Pass resort. I had my Indy Pass. I was able to just get my passes paid for, and I was kind of in a mode. And this was a last minute trip, so I didn't plan ahead. I didn't buy things ahead of time.
Yeah,
and I just remember just not even like it was going up to the window. I was like la 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 la. I'm not listening to it. Take my credit card. La la la. I don't care. Which
you just gotta have that. You're gonna get ski or not. I mean,
yeah, and that's the thing that it does suck a lot of this, but in a way, the people who are the hardcores, like people like us, we don't really care. It's like we'll find other ways. It's like I don't really need to eat for a week as long as I can get my ski passes and I can buy new skis. I'll tell you, there was a string of about 3 or 4 years where I had no dishwasher, but I bought 4 pairs of skis because that's the kind of person I am.
You can wash a dish, but
I
you
can
can't
wash a
ski
dish.
all the time.
You know how much a sponge costs? A sponge is way cheaper than a dishwasher.
That's it.
So
there you go.
A sponge, whatever.
You
make it
buy them
work.
in packs of like 6 and you're great.
Exactly.
That's like 6 months right there, right?
But yeah, right. But I see what the guy's saying as a new skier, as a beginner to try it out, like that really sucks.
Kills you.
But that's why they offer those deals a lot of times where it has, the lift ticket, the rentals. They should almost give you a free ticket if you get rentals. I mean, I don't know if
that would probably make sense. Or
I know they definitely subsidize it a lot if you're getting rentals because they kind of gouge you on those. You know,
yeah,
but again, how do you make people learn or get to love it at that age? Like it's a really
but it's
tricky
such a big
proposition.
commitment now, right? Like you go in and it's like, oh my God, $300, or you got to buy a $400 ticket at the beginning of the season to ski every day. Like you're like, I don't know if I want to go more than once.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, it absolutely kills the 1-2 trip a year person
Yeah.
because it makes it almost, financially non-viable. You think what you could do for think about 300 if you went like I'm gonna go ski at Beaver Creek for 2 days. Here's $600. Like it doesn't even make sense. Again, you could buy that Icon pass or Epic Pass for $9.49.
Yeah. But even like you said, like you didn't plan ahead. Well, here you are, you're like, you just said screw it, and you went up to the counter and give me the tickets and I'm out of here. But if you're doing it last minute and you're thinking it through, saying, well, let's see how much it is, and you add it up, you're like, holy crap, I'd rather do something else. You know what I mean? Like it really is
it's a deterrent for new customers, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, and it's just interesting. It used to be like, remember the 3-day or the 5-day pass was the big deal. Like, oh, you get one of those if you're going on a trip. Now it's, you're better off just getting the whole season pass, the Icon or the Epic or something. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not much different. And it's weird because
and it's like
that's
buy it in April.
Yeah,
buy it in
exactly.
April. As soon as you're like ready to get on with spraying and doing whatever you're doing and trying to get out of ski season, that's when you buy it. It's
like Costco pricing, right? Like buy it now in April and you get everything for the same price as 1 day on a mountain.
It's like pumpkin. It's like the pumpkin beer. You got to buy it in June so you can enjoy it in October. It's just, and I get why they're doing it because they're trying to lock in, get that money as soon as possible so that they can go and distribute it out and spend at the different resorts. Yeah.
Well, when they first started putting these things together, it was more of a discount, kind of they're working out deals to get that volume. Now it's gone beyond that because it's really representing the resorts that they own, right? In a big way. Like they have all their marquee ones and then they're expanding out and offering, the pass through others. It's just kind of weird how it's just getting bigger and bigger. It's like, it's not even like a collection of mountains sharing a ticket. It's half of them we own. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And as someone who just bought an Icon pass, one for the whole family, you look at the different places they have on there, and the ones that Alterra owns, I think all of them you get unlimited if you have the fancy pass, which is of course the one that I bought because I drank that whiskey and said we're doing this and we're doing it the right way.
You made a command decision.
I made a goddamn in the foxhole. Are we going to attack? Like, boom, we're going.
Let's do it.
But then all the other partner resorts, those are the ones that usually have 7 days.
Right.
Which is cool because say you live at a place and that's your home resort and you go there 30 times a year. To get a $1,200 pass to go 30 times and then, hey, we're doing one trip out west. Let's go to, looks like Palisade Tahoe is on here. I can ski for, not for free, because you have the pass. Like that's really cool. I mean, it is a great feature, but again, it targets the hardcores, and there's no way to be like, okay, we made you just buy a $1,200 pass. We're going to offer $20 lift tickets for everyone who doesn't ski that much.
Right. Like you want to learn how to ski? We'll give you a 3-day, just, at a really cheap price, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And I know a lot of these resorts, they do have different deals and special days. And I know for the kids, some places do like 4th or 5th or 6th grade. You get like $49 pass for the year. But, it seems worse. Like the person they talked about in the article is 24. Like that's kind of like the worst age to be doing it because you're not in college, so you can't get a discount. And you're not far enough in your career where you can afford it. So you're kind of like in like
24 could be a professional student. You never know.
It's true. You almost have to live at home now because you can't afford a house.
Mom and dad are paying your cell phone still. What the hell? Why not?
Yeah, they say that a lot of millennials, their whole financial future plan is like, well, my parents are going to die and I'm going to get their house. So
Exactly.
I'm good
So
to
I don't have
go.
to save shit. I'm spending every dime I make.
YOLOing my life.
Oh yeah.
I'm buying icon passes for my whole family. I'm going to lease a BMW, like whatever. Like
That's
YOLO.
right.
YOLO.
When the party ends, they're going to be like, man, I need somebody to help me out, right? I don't know. This is why I think the idea of the ski bum is at risk right now.
Oh, the ski bum is an endangered species by far. And we've talked about that ad nauseum for years.
Just freaking homeless guy in a parking lot that skis versus now you actually got to make some coin, especially this. You got to afford, $400 yearly pass or $300 at the window. Like,
yeah, where could you even
up there?
Yeah, there are some places that you can still bum it up, but it's not like it was in the 80s and 90s where it's like, look at Aspen Extreme. We're going to Aspen.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to Aspen now. Like, you got to be freaking 10, 20 millionaire
you could
buy
work
a
in Aspen
condo there.
But you got to stay, 30 minutes away.
You got to, dude, look at the real estate everywhere around there.
Oh,
you're probably going 2 hours. So if you were someone, well, Aspen, of course, is trying to provide some housing for their employees, which is so kind. It's like, hey, we found some boxes that you can sleep in.
That's right.
There's a greenhouse.
It's actually a lot of boxes assembled within a bigger box, and you guys could sit there. You could stay there,
Yeah, if you want to look at a place with some depressing real estate, if you're poor, look at Aspen. Aspen, Jackson. Those are probably the two worst. Those are the two ones.
Well, Jackson, when you look at property, you got to be careful with some of these houses or condos because you read the fine print. It's like you can't stay there. It's got to be available to housing during the whole ski season. It's like, oh, so you're not really buying the place. You're buying the place, but have to rent it out probably at a fixed rate or something like that. It's just weird.
Well, I know some places in Summit County in Colorado, they have special pricing and you have to be employed in the county to get the deal. I remember looking in like the Silverthorne area and you see this like beautiful, like 3-bedroom condo. And it was maybe 2/3, maybe actually probably half the price of a regular one. You're like, whoa, what's going on here? And then, you have to qualify based on your employment in the county, which
it's good
I hate that they have to do that.
Yeah.
But it's great because one of the things you look at when you look at how expensive these passes are, do you know what it takes to run a ski resort? The amount of people, resources, time that it takes to get the resort to be in the beautiful, pristine condition it is when you get there. That's one thing. It's so hard to think about when you talk about how expensive skiing is. There is so much that goes into it. It's an expensive undertaking, and it costs a ton for these resorts to even give you what they're giving you. Like everything, there's two sides to the coin. But
I don't get those. Why is there always a shortage still of people working at the mountain? Is it nobody wants to work? The wages are too low. People think they're too good for the wage. Is it?
I think you nailed all three of them. I think people
disappear,
want to be fancy. People are lazy.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they should be making $200,000 a year. Well, I could just be an influencer and make a bunch of money. It's like, well,
I just gotta think though. There's more
talented,
humans.
you're not exciting. Like that's the thing. It's like people don't want to hustle and grind anymore. Like nobody's
exactly.
We're so soft.
There's an article Mel was just showing me, and it was the Gosling wife, where they had the 8 kids or whatever, and she's saying how she's depressed and whatever the article said, but it was basically now that she's not a reality star, like reality's hitting her, and it's like, yeah, like when an actor or an actress does a role and they do a movie, whether it stinks or not, they're an actress or they're an actor. They have a craft, like
thespian.
But they know how to do it. That's what they got. That's their career. When you're a reality star, you're just a show, right? It doesn't mean you have talent. It means people are just interested in your life, right?
You know how dime a dozen a reality show person is?
And that reality after has got to be pretty surprising for them.
Well, think about the kind of egomaniac who wants to be on a show like that and have it feature them.
Yeah.
And then to have them not be getting that validation from
All the cameras are
audience
gone.
and cameras. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we're egomaniacs for thinking we should start a podcast, but you know what? We keep it in check. We keep it real.
We keep it real. If there were 20,000 people listening to this right now, we would have no idea.
20,000. It's a slow week.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We gotta
just
start
funny.
controversy. That's what we got to do. We got to start calling people out.
That's right.
We need some podcast beef.
Who did we call out? Did we call out Jeff Bezos with the whole eat the Mona Lisa and his yacht?
Yeah, right.
I think we called him out a few times. Oh, if we go back into the tape, I think we called out a bunch of people. Oh yeah, go to the archives because I think we flat out said so and so. If you want to come out, and I think we called some people out.
Like WWE. It's like I'm calling you out.
Dude,
their theme music starts playing.
Walking in New York City. You're gonna be walking in New York City, and you are just gonna get punched in the mouth. And it's gonna be like Dave Chappelle's the guy, got you, motherfucker. And you're like, I don't even remember. What did I say? Episode 52. That's what's gonna happen. Like, we're not even gonna remember that shit. We're just gonna get taken out.
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
That's right.
Well, speaking of cold, there's some controversy in one of our favorite places, Zermatt, Switzerland.
Oh,
this article is everything that's wrong with social media. Maybe everything that's right. I can't even have an opinion on things anymore because I feel like everything is so
right or wrong.
Bizarre. Disturbing pictures emerged in the last week of heavy machinery digging on the Theodule Glacier in the Matterhorn ski paradise, the cross-border ski resort between Zermatt, Switzerland, and Cervino, Italy. Cervino.
Cervinia.
Cervinia. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
the diggers appear to be filling in crevasses on the glacier in order to get the Grand Becca course ready for the first ever FIS World Cup cross-border race. The race will be the speed opening of the FIS Alpine World Cup calendar and is set to take place on November 11th and 12th. Athletes and climate activists, including Greenpeace, have petitioned the International Ski and Snowboard Federation, FIS, to amend the race calendar and hold races later in the season. An open letter to FIS signed by more than 500 athletes and activists appear to have put some pressure on the federation, as the speed opening for the 23-24 for Zermatt Cervinia is now set for 3 weeks later in the year than last year. Greenpeace Austria posted pictures this week on their social media accounts, accusing the International Ski and Snowboard Federation, FIS, of greenwashing, an accusation which is not new. FIS claims to be climate positive by means of using climate offsets, a practice Greenpeace has criticized for a while. These offsets are purchased from a company called Cool Earth, which coincidentally was founded and co-chaired by FIS president Johan Elias. There is no publicly available information on the specifics of these offsets or the amount FIS invests in Cool Earth's rainforest program. The fact that the place is called Cool Earth sounds so
Cool
shady.
Earth. Yeah, I can't imagine that's a real name for our business.
Yeah, Greenpeace questions in their post the legitimacy of FIS's claims to be climate positive in light of the use of diggers on European glaciers. And Protect Our Winters also shared images on their social media channels, urging FIS to act now to align the sport with the best practices in environmental sustainability. Howe says that the diggers are destroying the glacier and has launched a petition to put pressure on FIS to become, quote, the climate leader our sport needs. The petition calls for FIS to, 1, implement a target-based sustainability strategy, including a roadmap to achieve a 50% emissions reduction by 2030. 2, publish FIS's environmental impact with full transparency. Adapt the competition calendar to reduce the impact of travel and respect the changing climate. And 4, use FIS's political influence to advocate for climate action at a government level.
Wow.
So now we have the an interview with Franz Yulin, who's the president of the local organization committee for the World Cup cross-border event at the Matterhorn, and admits that he can understand that the pictures have caused a lot of outrage. If you haven't seen the pictures, it's a couple of giant caterpillar snow excavators kind of, on the glacier. And he says, no one knows the issue of the receding glaciers as well as we do in Zermatt. We know what it's about and take this sensitive topic seriously. However, he stresses that no one was breaking off the glacier, saying that's wrong.
Chopping off pieces, huh?
3 excavators worked on the glacier for 3 weeks. However, they did not break anything, but filled and secured crevasses with ice and snow. And I really like this quote that he says, they made us a scapegoat. How is what we are doing in any proportion to what happened in China or Qatar? For the Olympics in China, entire ski resorts were created from scratch next to nuclear power plants. And new, fully air-conditioned football stadiums were built in Qatar for the World Cup. No one says anything about that, but they attack us.
It's true.
And see, that's the thing that's where like all like Greenpeace and Protect Our Winters, that's where they rub me the wrong way, which again, as skiers and boarders, we want snow. Obviously, we want there to be winters. We love winter. But the fact that they go after like easy targets like this makes them almost seem like they're just bullying people.
Well, they want to make a name for themselves too, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know where the real problem is? You know where most carbon emissions are coming from? India and China. You know what? Why don't you just go march into Beijing? And why don't you go up to Xi and go tell him how you feel about his carbon emissions? You know what? You're going to be hanging out with the Uyghur Muslims in the concentration camps if you do that. But you know what? No one wants to go after the hard targets. They always go after the easy targets. That's with journalism these days, especially these activist groups. That's all they're doing. They're picking the easy targets and they're going after them.
Make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing with going after FIS is they run every year for a long season. Whereas you have something like the Olympics, they come in to a brand new area, pay everybody off to shut up, and they're there for 3 weeks, and then they get the hell out of town. So they're in and out.
The resort there wasn't even a ski resort. It was a mountain that doesn't get snow or enough snow to ski on, and they had to artificially create all the snow just so they could host the Olympics.
Yeah.
Go over there. I didn't see any of those
really
Protect Our Winter protesters there.
Yeah.
I didn't see them protesting the Olympics.
Nope. I would love to see them protesting a $300 lift ticket.
Protect our wallets. That's the POW I'm gonna subscribe to.
Protect our wallets. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you get the last one. The last thing on this.
Yeah, there's no real solution to this. Like again, it's weird to see it, but it just seems like a lot of bullying because FIS obviously wants winter too. They want snow. They're doing their job. If any engineering I'm going to trust, it's the Swiss engineering because I'm pretty sure they care about snow and ice way more than even Protect Our Winters does.
So here's the thing: we're probably going to make some enemies of the people we're going to see at Snowbound, but just when a lot of people were talking last year, there was one of the talks they were talking about, how they were trying to protect a glacier because people have been visiting the glacier for years and years. And they built, they say it's sad because they built steps that used to go off the train right onto where you could see the glacier. And the glaciers receded so much, it's like they have to get off, walk downstairs, and like walk to the glacier now. And, there was some other talk about like how they want to grow the industry, but also make sure that the environment's preserved. Well, my whole part of that, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, what if you can't? Like, what if continuing to let people go and play and go to these places that were untouched is part of the problem, right? At least for now. Yeah. So until you can figure out a solution for it, maybe you have to recede as people from going into these areas and they'll come back. I don't know.
And maybe that's the reason why maybe the $500 lift ticket is a good thing, because it will limit the number of people who are skiing, thus limiting the impact on the environment.
Or we'll get fatter as a nation.
Wally.
Right. Wally. That's right. Super big goat.
We're not claiming to have the solution. We're just asking the questions, and I'd love to find a solution, but I think it's like the Middle East. Like there is no solution. There's only there's
not
only
for
trade-offs.
Everybody, right?
Yeah. One final story. Skiers trigger first avalanche of the season in Colorado. Avalanches are usually big and scary and sad, but I'll be honest, first one of the season, no one died. It's kind of exciting.
It's like throwing out the first pitch.
It means there's enough snow to have an avalanche, which for mid-October, that's kind of a good thing, right?
It's pretty badass. I like that.
Yeah.
And like you said, nobody was hurt in this. Nobody's
gonna be all right. 13,198-foot Mountain Boy Peak experienced Colorado's first avalanche of the season, as confirmed by the Colorado Avalanche Information Center, situated south of Independence Pass. The avalanche was triggered on Sunday, the 15th of October, below the peak's ridge, with the area described as a north-facing gully on its northwest ridge. Cracking and minor collapsing while skinning up. Wind-loaded slab on top of facets from late September/early October. Slide triggered just below the ridgeline and propagated 100 yards across from the rocks, the center of the gully. It ran around 300 feet before coming to a stop. Debris were around 3 to 4 feet in depth, approximately. Skier 2 was probing at snow depth just below the crest of the ridge when they remotely triggered the slide, with the crown being about 10 feet below Skier 2. Skier 1 observed from the skin track on the connected slope on the other side of the gully. Slope made a big whoomph, and cracks shot across the slide upon slide initiation. Some surface horror observed as well. So according to the CAIC, the avalanche slid on a northwest aspect, uncovering old faceted snow from early October, now covered by the recent storm slab from the past week. So,
wow,
kind of ceremonial. No one got injured. No one died.
This is a good omen, right?
First of the season.
It's like the groundhog. You get, if you have the first avalanche and nobody, gets hurt in it, perfect. It's going to be a good season, right? Yeah.
I like that attitude. I like that. It's going to be a good season. I think we should all kind of allow that ray of sunshine to look upon us and smile upon us and take us into the season that way.
So let me ask you, Groundhog Day tells you if you longer winter or whatever, right? Should we have a pet or an animal or a symbol that we use to tell us if it's going to be a good winter or a bad winter for skiing?
It's like the Farmer's Almanac, if they have like a
ski almanac,
a cow or a rooster or something that.
Yeah. If this cow comes out of their barn and sees his shadow, boom.
Like if the snow owl grabs a snake, that means it's going to be a good winter or something like that.
Oh, that'd be good.
Like the snow owl.
That'd
be snow owl should be part of this. He seems like he's on our side.
The snow owl comes out by this date. That means it's going to be a good cold winter.
Yeah, we need something like that.
I think that's the marmot. The marmot comes out. The marmot is pissed off, like they always are. It's going to be a good winter.
You look pretty pissed to me, so I think we're in good shape.
Get a partner to Puxatawny Phil. Got to get a get a moose. Could have a moose see a shadow or something. It'd be terrifying.
Mammoth Mountain Marmot.
Mammoth Marmot. That's it.
The Mammoth Mountain Marmot comes out. Tells us it's going to be a good winter.
That's good. Yeah. Wonder if anybody has that. We got to see.
It's got 100% accurate record, man. This marmot, I'm telling you.
Well, it's like the octopus for the World Cup, and they've had all sorts of. It was like the Phil the Octopus or whatever.
Yeah,
it was just funny.
Well, speaking of being positive and good things, we're gonna roll into our main topic. And as we mentioned, ski season is pretty much here, right around the corner for some of us. And what that means every year is a new Warren Miller film. And this year, it's the 74th film, and it's called Alltime. But there's a catch. It's a little bit different than it has been in the past. And they're saying they take a look at some of our favorite vintage clips. And they're getting ready for their annual tour, which kicks off on October 23rd. So actually, it hasn't even been shown yet. So it's when this comes out, is pretty much when this is going to start showing. It looks back at 74 years of filmmaking, celebrates the birth of ski towns like Sun Valley and Aspen, features icons and innovators like the original hot doggers, and highlights the most outlandish locations ever skied. But it's not all vintage. Alltime brings you new footage featuring Maine's finest athlete of today, Donnie Pelletier, and the next generation at Woodward Park City. So if you haven't seen the clips yet, Warren Miller and I think Mosley and Donnie have already posted them. They are really funny. It's pretty much Donnie and Mosley at Palisades Tahoe just doing some runs. And if you haven't seen Donnie ski, it's
pretty funny.
It's we all know the guy. Like, we all know our resort, our friend who skis like this. It's balls out, lean back, no turns, just ripping down the hill. It's beautiful. And it's not a spoiler alert or anything because they posted it already, but there is one where he just eats his balls, and it's because if you haven't seen him, he wears jeans and has, clip-on suspenders and wears a hard hat
instead of a helmet. Like, I love that.
And he skis on old 196s. Like, it's awesome.
Good old straight 196s.
He's a beautiful throwback. Now it's funny because we talked a little smack when they first announced this, that there wasn't going to be a new Warren Miller film, and the picture we posted on it was like the Ghostbusters, like the red circle with the line through it on Warren Miller. And one of the producers actually reached out to us on Instagram, and I was like, is that bad? Like, are they pissed or upset or what? But it's a lot of old footage, and they're doing this over this year and next year because this one is 74, 75 is going to be a big one, and it's going to be they're making a big thing out of this.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good and bad, and it's in a way. At first, I was all pissed off about it because obviously, why wouldn't you be? Change is bad. I don't like it. Thumbs down.
I'm never going to watch it again.
That's
and then
said,
back next year.
I think we say it every year, though, when you talk about these ski movies. What's the point of these ski movies? I mean, every year it's always more extreme, more crazy. What are we doing? And is that really more enjoyable to watch? Or sometimes when you watch some of those old Warren Miller films and you see some of the way people used to ski, the way the resorts used to look.
Yeah.
In a way, it's really comforting and cool seeing more of. It's like when you watch an old movie or an old TV show. It doesn't always have to be bigger, crazier, more extreme, more insane. Because while that stuff is cool, how much further can we go?
Yeah, I think the magic of Warren Miller was it was like a travel show with a lot of skiing, whereas some of these other ski movies are let's just ski. Well, you could be wherever. Anywhere in the world, I wouldn't know because all I'm seeing is you do these amazing tricks. Well, after a while, I want to see the town and what's really cool about going there and hear about the snow and the skiing and the people. It's more of a travel show. It was kind of cool to think about it.
Yeah, I always appreciate more of the story. When there's a theme, there's a story, there's something else behind it. Because again, I love the crazy, amazing things that a lot of these athletes can do now. But if you're doing a 1360 double backflip and this guy's doing a 1420 triple backflip, it's really not that different. But when you're telling me a story about someone who's I've been skiing here for 30 years, I ski 100 days a year, it's a story from this one time. Like I want to hear that guy's like tales, you know, like
Because that's the experience that we're gonna have. Like I'm not gonna do the crazy flip in the mountains there, and
I love the storyteller. You know, I want to hear their tales, their legend, their origin stories. Like that's the things that are exciting to me, and I think you get a lot more of that from the Warren Miller movies than you do from the other ones.
Well, even the Warren Miller movies, when they show like some of these top athletes, I think they always did a better job, like interviewing that person,
humanizing them,
and then they would show them doing stuff. Like, but they would tell like even the backstory about like how they started, or they're from the local area. Like it was always kind of cool to connect people, and it wasn't just about seeing them go crazy ripping it up. They did it after, but they would kind of introduce him, and it was different.
And they'd always have like those human moments too, where they would crash, or they would talk to someone in town, like talk to a lifty, and again, the humanizing them versus the guys who are just so amazing, so good that they want to just bask in that ability versus. Again,
and that's great too, but it's different. It's the difference between
you don't connect the same.
Yeah, it's like watching an event like American Ninja Warriors versus somebody working out in a gym. Great workout, great physical specimen. That was amazing. But I want to see you do some, I want to see more about like what's going on or something. I don't know.
Yeah. All I know is I'm going on Thursday next week.
Nice.
It's early for where we are. Usually they used to do it the week before Thanksgiving. And that was always my favorite time.
You're almost Halloween in it. They're like pairing it up with Halloween.
Pre-Halloween. Dude, I will tell you, that's next Thursday. I'm going
Warren.
Oh, Halloween. Warroween. Yeah, so it's that, and then the week after is Halloween, and then Snowbound. So everything is just slamming into high gear starting next week, which
it's going to be a blur.
I'm so excited. Like I'm so fired up for this season. I bought my stupid icon pass. You got to drink every time I talk about me buying those icon passes. That's the new rule for this season.
That icon was crazy.
Oh my god. I'm just so fired up for the season. I'm so fired up for getting my family in the snow. I'm excited for the Warren Miller movie. I'm excited for Snowbound. There's just so much cool stuff happening that it's going to be great. So we get to hang out. We get to go to Boston. It's a great town.
We get to hang out with friends. We get to see our ski buddies again and talk some smack.
Some new ski buddies.
That's right.
Yeah.
I like it.
So if you're going to be at Snowbound, why don't you hit us up?
Yeah, in the Boston area. There's going to be a lot of people up there.
There will be. Old friends, new friends, Holiday Inn. Snow should be falling soon in the area.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time. So if you guys, there's a bunch of other movies too. I love the one website where they have the trailer park with all the different movies. I haven't even been keeping a really good track of all the ski films. It gets to a point where it's just so overwhelming. But once we get into the season, like usually around like Thanksgiving, I start trying to check most of them out because then they
start going through those. Yeah,
they start becoming available too. You can either download them or buy them and check them out. So we'll probably do more of a feature on films coming up as we get more into November. But we're excited. Again, if you're going to be going to Snowbound, you want to try to hook something up, or like suggestions, recommendations, hit us up, skibumpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Follow us on the socials, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Untapped, or at Ski Bump Podcast. You love us. We love you. Patreon.com/Ski Bump Podcast. Be part of the team. Be a patron. Help us grow. Help us build this out. Help us become the juggernaut that we should be. Want this should become.
Yes.
Do you need some gear? You still have time to get in shape. You got a couple weeks. You can do it. 10,000.cc. Go there. Use the code BSchneider15. 15% off.
Boom.
Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Stay high, stay fluting.
See ya.